Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Modules. This is Lesson 6, Order of Operations. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to use an acronym. PEMDAS, or GEMDAS, where P is parentheses and G is groups. So this is kind of more in line with what we do. We don't just use parentheses, we use all kinds of groupings. Okay, so that just means the order of operations. We do parentheses, then we do exponents, then we multiply, then we divide, then we add, then we subtract. We have a rule that if there's only multiplication and division, or only addition and subtraction, it is left to right. Okay, very important concept this right here. You don't do the proper orders, you don't get the right answer. Alright, it still haunts people in their adulthood. I see it on Facebook all the time. What's the answer to this problem? And it's a basic PEMDAS problem, and everybody has a different answer, and most of them don't get it right. So let's not be one of those. Expressions with only addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. What operations are evaluated first? And that would be right here. So I would say multiplication, and division. And I would say from left to right. Okay, there's a rule. What operations are always evaluated last? It's right here. Addition and subtraction. Also, from left to right. Okay. So here's an exercise. 4 plus 2 times 7. What gets done first? Multiplication. It comes before addition. So I'm going to leave that 4 there and do the multiplication. 2 times 7 is 14. Now we only have addition. We do left to right. 4 plus 14 is 18. Okay? If we don't do this in the right order and we add first, 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. That is not 18, and that is not correct. Okay? Very important, these rules. I have division, I have multiplication. Division comes first, then multiplication, because it's left to right. So I'm going to do this piece first. Always just do one step at a time. 36 divided by 3 is 12 times 4, 48. Do not do 3 times 4 and get 12 and say 36 divided by 12 is 3. That answer would be correct. Now we have subtraction and multiplication. The multiplication comes first, so bring down the 20 minus and do not do anything till second step on that. 5 times 2 is 10. 20 minus 10 is 10. Here's another example. Okay, I'm going to write the rule over here again. I'm going to write PEMDAS. I'm going to put a mark, check mark, next to what we have. We have addition, check. We have an exponent, check. We have division, check. We have multiplication, check. And we have subtraction. So we are going to focus on the exponent first. So I'm going to write 4 plus 9 squared is 81 divided by 3 times 2 minus 2. All I did was this. Everything else stayed the same. What operations evaluated first? The exponent. What operations are evaluated next? Multiplication and division And remember, left to right. Okay, so let's do that. Multiplication and division. There's a plus sign. There's a division sign. There's a multiplication sign. There's a minus sign. The minus 2 is not going to get touched right now. The 4 plus is not going to get touched right now. We are going to do this from left to right. One step at a time, left to right, division, multiplication. 81 divided by 3. 3 goes into 8 2 times. Remainder of 2. 3 goes into 21 7 times. Okay? Is that right? 3 goes into 7 times 3. Yes, 81. 27. Okay. Times 2. So now I'm going to do this first. Let me not do parentheses. That'll confuse things. Times 2. Now we're going to do this piece. What operations are always evaluated last? Addition and subtraction. L to R. Okay, so we've done the exponent, we've done the division. And why did we do that before multiplication? Because it was left to right and it came first, so that's done. Now we're going to do multiplication. So it's 4 plus 27 times 2 is 54 minus 2. Okay, let me move these rules out of the way here. I'm going to continue working this. Alright, so now we're down to addition and subtraction. And we work left to right. So I'm going to do the first one. 58 minus 2, 56. What is the final answer? 56. Okay. Now it's your turn to try this. Here's 2 problems. Pause the video. See if you can get their answers correct. Come back and check the answers. I'm going to write this again. I don't have any parentheses. I have an exponent. I have subtraction. I have multiplication. I'm going to do the exponent first. 90 minus 5 squared is 25 times 3. Then I'm going to do the multiplication. 90 minus 25 times 3 is 75. And now I'm going to do the subtraction. 90 minus 75 is 50. Okay, so I'm getting rid of my check marks here. I'm going to use the same PEMDAS again. Probably just as quick to erase it all, rewrite it, but okay. Let's do this one in green. We have an exponent. We have addition. We have multiplication. We're going to do the exponent first. 4 cubed. 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. Really important that you know your multiplication tables when you're doing these things, or it will take you a really long time, or the use of a calculator, which will not help you when it comes to doing this quicker in the future. So 4 cubed is 64 plus 2 times 8. Okay? Done. Multiplication's next. 64 plus 2 times 8 is 16. And then finally addition. 64 plus 16. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus that 1 carried is 8. Okay? Example 3. Consider a family of 4 that goes to a soccer game. Tickets are $5 each. Mom also buys a soft drink for $2. How would you write this expression? Okay. I would write 4 times 5. Why did I write that? 4 tickets, $5 per ticket. 4 people in the family are going to a game. They need 4 tickets, and they're $5 a piece. 4 times 5 plus 2. She's going to buy a soft drink for 2. This is order of operations again. Parentheses, none. Exponents, none. Multiply, yes. Do this first. 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 2, and that's going to cost that family $22 for 4 tickets and a drink. How much will this outing cost? I just answered that. $22. So actually this was the answer to this. I would write this expression, and then how much would it cost? I should have solved that down here. Next question. Consider a different scenario. The same family goes to the game as before, but each family member wants a drink. So now we have 4 people buying 5 tickets, plus 4 people buying $2 drinks. So there's my expression. Okay? I can rewrite this as 4 times 5 plus 2, because this would be 4 people buying a $5 ticket and a $2 drink per person. So the 4 times 5 plus 2, and that's why it says, why would you add the 5 and the 2 first? I will answer this question both ways. Let me move this over here. These are 2 correct answers. And now we're going to start getting into factoring and distribution property. So 4 times 5 plus 4 times 2, this would tell me to multiply first. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 4 times 2 is 8. 20 plus 8 is 28. Here, parentheses, PEMDAS says, why would you add 5 and 2 first? Because parentheses come first. Okay? Parentheses come first in the PEMDAS term. We have parentheses, we have an operation within the parentheses, that comes first. So I do 4 times 5 plus 2, and when I do that multiplication, that's the next step, I would definitely get 28, so I got the same answer as if I wrote it this way. How much will this outing cost? $28. How many groups are there? 4 groups. When they mean groups, they mean ticket and drink. That is a group. Ticket and the drink are the groups. What does each group comprise? A $5 ticket and a $2 drink. Okay? Now we have an exercise 6 and 7. Try these, come back, check your answers. Here we go. 2 plus. I have parentheses. That's going to happen first. Within the parentheses, I have an exponent. That happens first. So I'm going to leave the parentheses there. 9 squared is 81 minus 4. Now that this is still in parentheses, that comes first. 2 plus 81 minus 4 is 77. And 2 plus 77 is 79. Right? Number 7. I have parentheses within parentheses. So I'll watch what I do. 2 parentheses 13 plus 5 minus 14 divided by parentheses. I'm going to do the innermost. 3 plus 4 is 7. Okay? I don't want parentheses there though. This parentheses here is 7. Now close. Now I still have parentheses, so I want to do that. So I'm going to multiply by 2 last. In here I have addition, subtraction, and division. Addition, subtraction, and division. Do the division first. 13 plus 5 stays. Minus 14 divided by 7 is 2. I still have parentheses. I have addition, subtraction. Work left to right. 13 plus 5 is 18 minus 2. And that would be 2 times 16. So my answer is 32. Very careful with multiple parentheses. Okay, example 4. Which value will be which value will we evaluate first within the parentheses? Addition or exponent? Okay, I would say the exponents first. Okay, and it says to evaluate that. So leave the 2 times, do 3 plus 4 squared, which is 16. And that would come out to be 19. So we evaluate the rest of the expression. 2 times 19, 38. Okay. What do you think will happen when the exponent in this expression is outside of the parentheses? Okay, when it's outside the parentheses, we need to do what's inside first. So I'm going to leave that just like that. And 3 plus 4 is 7. So I'm going to square the 7 first. The squaring comes before multiplication, so it's going to be 2 times 49. That's going to come out to be 98. Okay, will the answer be the same? No. Which would we evaluate first? 3 plus 4. What happens differently here in our last example? Well, in our last example, we squared the 4 first. Okay, because there was no parentheses, it was just the 4 squared. We are squaring the sum of 3 plus 4. And then our next step will be multiply by 2 and then evaluate to find the final answer. That's what I have shown up here. Okay, so I just did all my steps first and evaluate the final answer is 98. What do you notice about the 2 answers? They are different. Okay, 98 does not equal what we got in the last problem, which was 38. What was the difference between the 2 expressions? Well, I've already answered that. The difference between the 2 expressions were we squared the sum of 3 and 4 right here instead of squaring just the 4 and then adding 3 to it. And that made a big difference in our answer. Okay, what conclusions can you draw about evaluating expressions with parentheses and exponents? The location of the parentheses and the exponents makes a large difference in what our outcome is. Okay, I'm not going to write more than that. And move on to exercise 8 and 9. Pause the video, try it, and come back. Okay, so we have addition, we have subtraction, we have parentheses, we have exponents. We're going to do the parentheses first, so the 7 plus is waiting. We're going to do what's in the parentheses first. We have subtraction and exponents. Exponents come first, so we are not going to subtract yet. 3 squared is 9. We still have parentheses, so we're going to focus on that first, so it's going to be 7 plus. 12 minus 9 is 3, and 7 plus 3 is 10. And lastly, we have parentheses again, so we're not going to do anything here. We have 12 minus 3 squared. So we're going to do what's in the parentheses first. Parentheses come before exponents. 12 minus 3, 9. And now we're just going to square the 9. So it's going to be 7 plus 81. 7 plus 81 is 88. So notice that the numbers were all the same. The parentheses, the exponent got moved outside of the parentheses, and I went from 10 to 88 because I'm squaring the difference of 12 and 3 rather than just squaring 3 and subtracting that from 12. Okay, here's a lesson summary. Please read this on your own. And that's the end of lesson 6. Go do your problem set.